And we're live. What's up, Shane?
Wow. Hey Sam, another episode here. I am excited, man. Whew. It has
Take a
been
breath. Take a breath, man. I feel like we can all, as like a humanity, as a society, I feel like we all need to take a breath right now.
I mean it's wild because the people who are not like following this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the most exciting and crazy and wild thing I'm being now. Like feel like I have over and obviously for those who are out there that don't know, Sam and I are clearly talking about AI. Um, I think as small business owners, we're in a unique position where we can be nimble and really see significant advantages to this, as opposed to larger organizations who are stuck with red tape and all kinds of bureaucracy and things like that. I mean, it is just yeah, it's incredible what's going on, and for those that aren't following it, it's gonna come, and it's gonna come fast and furious this year. And I it's only a little past the middle of March, right? And the pace at which this stuff has been coming out is just insanity since really like the beginning of January or right around the holiday. I'm like, it was like holiday break, and then bam, we're just off to the exponential. So it's been crazy. Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm excited to jump into the details. But I agree, we should probably all take a collective breath, especially for us being so deep in it. Back out a little bit, and maybe that's a good start to this segment. Is more about what's going on in life outside of work, AI, business. We always talk about personal goals, fitness, things that we're overcoming, faith. We talk about everything. So I'm curious what's going on outside of work.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some weeks where you're just kind of maintaining, you're not seeing, the growth that maybe you see in other weeks, and that's totally fine. Um, And on this podcast, we just try to be real, right? Like we're not trying to make things up so that, every episode gets even better and better in terms of like new growth and new like enlightenings or anything like that. It's really almost like a just a real track and almost like a vlog, but definitely not a vlog, but just a capturing of like where we are for both professionally and personally. So I hope that, the audience it doesn't feel like we're trying to make things up so that it sounds good or looks good. In fact, I would say most of the times it's quite mundane. It's we're really problem solving both personal and professional challenges, um, and there are just moments in time where we have these like moments of enlightenment and like you know we are absolutely sure to take advantage of those episodes to really kind of unpack those things. But yeah, I think for me, like personally, it hasn't really been too many things going on. This past weekend, my wife and I, for her birthday, we went to the Cayman Islands for like 3 nights, just as a little bit of
Nice.
like just a little relaxation, obviously celebrating her birthday, trying to disconnect as much as we could. And we were able to do so. So that was really nice. Um, I was kind of in this, I was getting like pulled to, think through. Um, and I wanted to work. Like simply put, I wanted to work even when I was away, but it wasn't like in a destructive way, right? I
Mhm.
was almost getting so energized by the disconnecting for just 3 days that even my wife felt this. Like on the last night, we were like, we're ready. Like and we rarely are like that. We're the type that like would want to move anywhere we vacation to. We find the good in everything and we just want to extend the good times as much as possible. But I
Mhm.
think because we are in such a healthy mental, spiritual, and um, just a generally healthy place, even physically,
Mhm.
we were just so motivated to get back and really hit the ground running again. So, yeah, I think personally that's been kind of the top thing in my mind. We just got some really good rest, um, and yeah, I also had this thought of like, how long should a vacation be? like
Mm.
when my wife and I were away. Um, I came up with a general rule of thumb. I'm gonna test this theory out a little bit in future like vacation planning, but I'm thinking the number of hours it takes to get to your destination should
Mhm.
be the minimum night of stay at that location. So as an example, the Cayman Islands were about it was a 4 hour flight, and we stayed there for, it was like three and a half, 4 hours, and we stayed there for 3 nights. And we were like, that was a perfect, like the perfect duration for that type of trip. And we were thinking like if we went to London, a 7 hour flight, we would definitely want to stay there at minimum a week. So I don't know, just a random general rule of thumb that like I'm gonna test out. Because coming from corporate, it was always just like vacation, 2 weeks. It's absolutely always 2 weeks. But as as small business owners now, we don't have that luxury to always go on a 2 week break. Even a 2 night break or a 1 night break sometimes is more than enough or is exactly what you need. um and yeah, I had those thoughts during this time of like um you know relaxation and just disconnection that um yeah, a break doesn't have to, like, that's one thing that I was unlearning a little bit, that like a break doesn't have to be 2 weeks all the time or
Mm.
even a week. It can be just really quality time away, and that can be a night or 3 nights. And yeah, I felt so rested and so motivated at the same time, which is rare in past vacations that I've had. So I was really thrilled about that. And yeah, once we got back, we were just right back into it.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that rule of thumb. One, I don't know how far it is over to Asia because I think you had your trip to Korea, so you might have like a Japan Korea, right? So you were
That
there
checks out.
for it checks out there
That
too.
checks
Yeah,
out because it's a 14-hour flight, and I would
yeah,
say 2 weeks is definitely a minimum
minimum. Yeah,
if you're going to Asia.
that's
So,
awesome. I like that. I'm gonna use that rule of thumb now, and then you might have to like do like a 50% increase if you have kids with you because of the amount of effort and
word.
investment to get somewhere even just 3 hours.
For
It's
sure, for sure.
a little different than when you don't have kids, but I like that.
Definitely.
That's a great rule of thumb. Have to keep
Yeah, man.
keep plotting those out as you take different trips and as we take our trips too.
Yeah, for sure, man. What about you, man? What's going on outside of work?
Oh man, yeah, I would say outside of work, it's been a really interesting, different start to the year this year. Um, Last year was really heavy on a lot of different goals, both on the fitness side was for the marathon in the fall. And really that actually came kind of in January after an injury that pushed out the Spartan Ultra. And then we decided to do the marathon in the fall. And we're kind of targeting the end of April for the Spartan Ultra. But ultimately, about like a month ago, Mary and I were talking and we are like, okay, we need to be more selective about what we're spending our time on. And this is primarily me, not necessarily her. But it's like the word, I guess, combination of words that I came up with for this year for me is, and we do this at the beginning of each year, is like pick out a word or two words to describe like what we want to embody in this year ahead. And for me, it was really being intentionally selective and going into a little bit of a season of no and trying to cut down and focus on things and really pour all the energy in there. So that resulted in making, I mean, when the nice thing is when you go through, and that's an exercise we can do kind of at the end of this year, is I'll run everybody through this exercise that I've gone through to actually develop and pull out the word that you want to use for the year ahead. But the nice thing is, once you have that, you then can make all these decisions based on that word. And so when you're looking and evaluating something, it's like, okay, does that fit against the word and the theme for the year? And when I looked at like, okay, the fitness investment, especially to go to up to an ultra, a Spartan Ultra out from just a marathon, like there's a lot more investment there. So ultimately decided to cut that out, push that out even further. And this year, kind of in exchange for that, I was like, okay, what can I do in the time that I have? And now I've actually made my fitness goals for this year centered around getting healthy and like being and waking up feeling as good as humanly possible and really treating my body like a professional athlete. So the training regimen will be my standard regimen, still be kind of some distance running and strength, but my real goals are really around building muscle back up and gains there, maintaining endurance, while the real core focus is two parts. One is yoga to really strengthen and lengthen at the same time to just feel better, get rid of those aches and pains. And then the other part to marry up with that is to see transformation with the body. As I'm actually going hard on the start of macro tracking and optimization and kind of nutritional optimization. So we've pivoted a little bit, but those are things that I can do within the windows of time that I've historically used for fitness and kind of wellness. And so that's the core focus. And one huge unlock that I had here a couple weeks ago is for the first like 2 months of the year, I kept writing down I just kept writing on in my journal every day, like track macros, track macros, track macros, but it really wasn't resonating. So I just changed it to I want to achieve 9% body fat by the end of the year. And as soon as I did that, like within a few days, it was wild because the repetition in your subconscious, for whatever reason, an ad came up on Instagram, and it's for this new macro, an AI powered like food tracking and macro tracking, and it's called what's it, Cal? Hold on.
Those devices, man, they're always
Cal.
listening.
Yeah, it's crazy. But in some of these cases, I have had this a lot of times where I don't talk to Mary about it. I don't talk to myself about it. It's only me in my mind in my journal, and then it freaking pops up, and it can read my. I'm telling you, it's wild. It's like the sixth time that this has
It's
happened,
crazy.
and I'm like, I must be talking about other things that point towards that, but I swear, I'm like, man, I have not said that word. It's just things I'm thinking in my brain and then it pops up. But in any case, that's fine by me because it's called Cal AI and you can download it on the App Store. And I looked at it and I was like, huh, this is interesting. I did the trial. I'm 3 days into it and it's so easy. And that's the thing about forming a new habit and all that is you just snap a picture of whatever you're eating and then it uses AI to process like, oh, that's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, or you could just take a picture of the label and then you just change the serving sizes of however much you're eating. So like literally makes it so easy. And I'm not perfect yet with it, but forming that habit of okay, every time I'm eating food, I'm measuring what I'm doing. And it has been awesome. I'm 3 days in, and it's made it so easy to get started that it's well worth it. And now it's a $30 a year subscription fee, but I think at this point it's totally worth that year trial, at least right now. And as I was going through that, man, it really reminded me of two things. Like one is just habit formation and picking something that makes it so stupid, simple, easy to get started and doesn't um give a lot of resistance. Like the easier you can make it and the lower the resistance, the better chance you have of forming it and then just making it part of your daily kind of lifestyle and workflow. Is one part of it. But then the second part is measuring. You can only measure or you can only manage what you measure. And that goes into business big time, where if you start even just by looking at the data, like you don't even have to want to do anything with it. But if you're like, oh, I just want to make more profit this year, and just by looking at your bank account and measuring it, and then just simply plotting that over time, by focusing on it, you will make more money that year. And so any of that is true within your business. It's like what you focus on will expand and you cannot manage what you're not measuring. And so that was so true for me to see like a really big difference this year on the health side and wellness side and hit a goal. It's like I've got to measure it. And as soon as I start measuring it, it's crazy because you're like, do I really want to eat that little thing and then have to take a picture of it? And like, you're like, no, I'll just keep with the standardized like food pack, whatever we've got out, snap a photo of my dinner, and then it's in there. but it starts to reduce snacking and lots of different things. And that same thing applies in business. You start looking at your credit card statement, your bank account statements like weekly. You're going to be like, oh, wow, I am paying for that recurring. Do I use that anymore? No, boom, gone. So that's probably the biggest, like outside of the business side, one of the bigger things that's top of mind for me right now.
Nice, dude. Mindful eating. I feel like that's such an important thing for me and my wife too. Like we love to eat. Like we're not the biggest people, but man, we could throw down. And I mean, in some cases, we do use food as like a reward system,
Mhm.
just because we love it so much, and we'll never take that out, from our week. Just if it's a tub of ice cream or a slice of pizza, like whatever the reward is, like we'll absolutely keep that. But being mindful of we put into our bodies, and on the most part throughout the entirety of a day, like it's so like being mindful of that, and that triggers how aware you are of how you feel from that mindfulness. Goes back to what you were saying about how you really want your body and mind to be at like peak performance, peak shape throughout this year. Um, Maybe I'm not measuring it, but I think mentally I'm measuring how I feel from the things I'm putting in to my body, and also the type of exercises that I'm doing. Um, and I would say, I think we both absolutely agree with this. There's such a cyclical kind of nature to fitness and running, your own business,
Mm.
but there's a reason why we always talk about this stuff. It's not for vanity reasons. It's because it helps in all the other areas of our life. Um, so yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm looking forward to how this year kind of works out in terms of like your diet, like 9% body fat. That's incredible. Can't wait to track your progress along that.
Yeah, now it's out there. So we got some doing, and actually that triggered another thought that I saw, which is a pretty cool business idea. I don't know that it's in our area yet, but there are people now that have a mobile, like a DEXA scan in a trailer, and so you can literally call, like, have them come and it's mostly like the big metro areas right now, like Austin and I'm sure New York City and stuff. But it's like $50 and you can get a DEXA scan, which for those out there who don't even know what a DEXA scan is, I don't even know all the specific details, but it's a pretty detailed scan of your body for body composition, let's say. So you get a pretty accurate understanding of like your body fat percentage, and it's relatively fast and it just like scans you. So I've never done one, but and I don't even know if they have them in our area yet. But that's something that I think Mary and I are going to look into, and or not really Mary, but mostly me on the DEXA scan. But tied on to that is also becoming really popular is the like blood workup panels where you just kind of take.
Right.
I think I've seen now that there's even a device where at home you can literally take a little vial of blood, you mail it in, they do an analysis on it, and then that way you can track your what's going on inside your body more closely, like throughout whatever periodicity that you want. And that's something that I think we'll also consider as well. Haven't really looked into like pricing and what that would mean and how often, but I think that that's super valuable. Again, going back to the data side of things, right? And measuring your progress towards goals for sure. And
Dude,
I mean, the other nice thing about blood work is like early heading things off early. Like you're going to know so much earlier.
I love like this whole wave right now on like body and performance optimization. Even like the younger generation just completely, not drinking, which is affecting the alcohol and beverage industry. I'm sort of in that kind of wave too, and I love it. I feel great. I think it's great for the great for society to be healthier. I think we have a long way to go to um, yeah, make a turn away from kind of the destructive behaviors of like the late '90s, early 2000s, like our generation of like not thinking too much, and honestly not having the wealth of information
Yeah.
that the current generation has. So I'm glad that we're taking advantage of it. And yeah, man, you only get one bill of health. Gotta look out for that.
Yeah, exactly. And like no matter where you're at in your life, like there's certain things that you can control, right? And your mindset, the things that you read, the things that you spend your time on is one area, and then the things that you put into your body is another, and the third is who you spend your time with. So if you're looking and you're kind of at a point, which I certainly was at in my life, where early on, if we go back to 2020 to 2022, like that 3 year period, obviously we had Sadie, and then Lexi was born, and I was working corporate job, and it was like COVID, and just one of those things where I hit this threshold in my life where I just was not performing and doing what I wanted to be doing. And I felt like there was not really a way out. I felt really trapped because of the corporate mousetrap and financial mousetrap and all these things, right? And it was like, oh, I just don't see a way how this could happen. But I would say that if you're feeling that way, the first step is really to one, probably start reading about it. And two, is journaling helps a lot because just by thinking about these things and opening your mind, the pathway will kind of show up as you start down it, but you aren't going to know all the different spots and turns along the way. It's just like, you want something different. And at that point, I knew I wanted to really change our lives and maximize our, at least my potential and for a lot of reasons, and be able to just kind of impact a lot more people. And that was not going to happen with our where I was currently at. So, yeah, if you want to make a change, I think the first part is just deciding that you're going to do that, and then knowing that you have control over a number of things in your life, no matter where you're at, on the financial spectrum, the wealth spectrum, like whatever spectrum you want to look at, you can certainly control what you put into your body, the people you spend time with, and what you write and read. And I think if you monitor those three things initially out of the gate, you'll start to make positive changes as long as you decide you want to achieve more and kind of reach a higher potential for sure.
100%, dude. And for me, it was having, well, my fiance at the time, but any sort of like partner, um, in addition to like reading and writing about it, when you don't keep a secret from yourself, and that secret could be anything, right? Like it can be something like you're just, you know, trying to struggle through what you're going through right now and not complaining about it, and we're just going to push through. Like that can be a secret that you're holding on to and not coming to a realization that that's harming you, that's putting undue stress on you. Like I felt that throughout a lot of years. I mean, I can pinpoint to a lot of moments throughout my corporate and my personal life where, I was trying to just either figure it out myself or just shove it under the rug. Um, but yeah, I think so grateful to have my, again, fiance at the time, wife now, to be able to put it out, like just to talk about it and have almost no secrets about it. And once it's out there, you sort of have you're sort of drawn to do something about it, right? Sometimes it's because it weighs you down. It can start weighing the people around you down. Um, so yeah, that first step, whether it's reading, writing, or just talking about it, um, I think it absolutely starts there. And then once you get a little taste of improvement and development, man, it can become a snowball in the best way possible.
Yeah, that's so true. Some To sum that all up, I think on an internal perspective, it's pretty simple. Like my coach says, you are a product of your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. And that is so true. And it doesn't seem true initially, but when you compound your internal thoughts in your head over time and you kind of start to recognize those and then replace your current thoughts with the thoughts of whatever it is you want to do, places you want to go, all that fun stuff, those thoughts and then the beliefs in yourself, those translate into how you act and behave and how you talk and the language you use. All of that stuff forms your reality, and so you certainly have the capacity to change that. And I think that was one, probably the biggest takeaway from me was, before this whole process, it was like I was in a situation and I didn't have direct control over it. And everybody else who had reached a certain level of achievement, like their destiny was almost like predetermined, right? And now after this whole process, it's like, no, no matter what your situation is, nothing is predetermined. It all just comes back to the thoughts in your head and the things you tell yourself, and then the actions that you have and take in life. And when you start changing those, you can actually really change your entire life for whatever direction you want to go in. And it's not fixed. You're not stuck where you're at. And you don't have to believe the narrative that things are predetermined or that person's just lucky or they were born into something. Like that's none of that is true. Like you 100% control your destiny. So
Right, right.
and you can change that course at any time.
Yeah, and don't compare yourself too much with other people. Take inspiration and be like motivated. And even now, like I have absolutely nothing figured out, man. Like every day humbles the crap out of me, and I there are times where I'm just like, I have no idea what to do. Like it's as cheese, and I've everyone hears the saying like you got to enjoy the process, right? It's all about the process. It really is. Like I don't think there really is an end goal for me, man. Like I just want to look back and say like I did it the way that I wanted to. For me, my faith is big, so I did it the way that, God intended for me to do, and I trusted in him and be okay with that. I don't think there's like this end goal, at least for me, it's I think with it's more like a microcosm. Like every day has an end goal. Like, can I get through this day by doing all the things that I'm called to do as a human, as a business owner, and all the other things and roles that I play in the day. But yeah, I think having the humility to admit that at least for me, I'm never gonna get to where I really want to, but I'm gonna try my damn hardest, to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. You got to go big.
Yeah, man. Well, look, how's the business doing, man? Any updates?
Yeah, yeah. So we did a nice personal update segment there, and then on the business side, it has been wild. I think we'll have tease out there a little bit of some future episodes coming up about specific strategy tactics, deeper AI stuff that's going on, because it's just such a relevant topic. But I would say for us, since the last kind of general updates, I would say we are finally seeing the first fruit from planting the seeds and nurturing the tree on the marketing side for us. So when I kind of like over the winter break, holiday break, heading into the new year, I knew that our core focus coming out of the year was going to be investment and building out the marketing arm. And so we went heavy on all the different avenues, and hired some people to help us out on certain avenues, like on the LinkedIn side, on the social content side, on all of that. And so we're, like call it roughly 6 weeks into this, and we're seeing a significant uptick in just lead generation, booked sales calls, and hopefully, eventually conversions here, because we have the upcoming spring training program, our activation program that'll start on April 28th of this year and run for 8 weeks, really tailored towards engineering powered businesses and getting them up to speed, trained and baseline. So that's exciting. I think there's a lot of interest and excitement around that. And yeah, so just seeing the outputs of what we're investing, and then seeing some of the fruit is really exciting. It's been a challenge. It's been a lot with managing the business and the marketing side, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than getting those like sales calls booked when it's kind of running on autopilot a little bit after you get the system running. So now we're kind of a little bit more in the optimization stage. And yeah, the way that I look at like lead gen and marketing is so different than it was, a year ago, 6 months ago, where I really am thinking about it as like there's kind of two arms. It's like free and paid. On the paid side, you of course have ads, and then you can pay other people to do cold emailing and cold outbound and things for you. And then on the free side, we have podcasts, if you get up on stages for different events or expos, and then social content production. And so we're really kind of standing all of those up, and our core focus is really on LinkedIn. And the last like thing that I'll share is we had this week we had a post that for us, by what we would say went viral. It was like 20 times or maybe more, 25 times the impressions of our usual post impression count. So, and that was just like a completely organic piece of content that I wrote, and yeah, really resonated with people. So that was pretty exciting to see that. And so now it's like, okay, double down, try and figure out what we did, rewrite that equation, and keep it up. So yeah, it's kind of exciting to see progress there. Just like if you're going to the gym and you're like seeing those gains on the weights or the times, whatever you're measuring, but it's cool to see that progress.
Congrats, dude. I know marketing is not your background. You did a lot to develop, that muscle in your brain and just how to, I mean, just learning about these different platforms and honestly also acknowledging, the areas where you need some help and some support. But that's so cool, man. I'm like proud of you guys for doubling for investing heavily on that side. You obviously know how it's almost like the lifeblood of your business. But that's so cool to see, man. Just the arc of like not knowing, testing things out, getting help, but also learning on your own and getting to a place where now you have a bit of a proof of concept um, to double down on. And you're right. There's no better feeling than when you start getting bookings on your calendar, um, and just really putting the load on yourself in terms of now you got to go and sell these deals and figure out how to operationalize and service all these deals too. But those are all, those are the best problems to have. That's so incredible, man.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, like to recap that, it's like the reason why of like why so like why did I focus so hard on marketing is really again based on what my coach Dan Martell has taught me, and what we live by is like the business is three parts, and there's one of the parts is the bottleneck in your business. It's either marketing, so leads, it's either sales for completing and selling deals and enrolling folks, or in delivery, and you have a backup in one of those three. But like really you got to just focus on one area and go all in on it. And so for us it was like lead gen is by far the biggest thing that we needed to understand and kind of stabilize, because everything else downstream of that is a result of it. So that was our bottleneck, that's what we focused on, and we're working on getting it to the point where it kind of overwhelms our sales force on the Obnovit side. So that way, then it's like, okay, we'll keep the leads coming in, and then we just got to fix the sales piece of that to make it more efficient and effective. And then hopefully that'll translate to overwhelming our delivery, and then we'll go fix that. And you're just going to keep moving around, fixing the different one of those three things, working on it at all times. So
And now you can probably throw an agent at one of those problems, right? Now we don't have to really go hire a net
yeah,
person,
a little
which gets
preview. That's
gets it very,
what my
very
section is going to
interesting.
be about. The next episode,
Nice.
I'm going to talk for my single session on the episode that'll be coming up. I'm going to talk about kind of the early days now of standing up team members that are non-human, and it's yeah, it's hard to describe in words right now, and folks who are not deep into it are gonna struggle to understand and comprehend it. But yeah, reach out, because I love talking about it and bringing everybody up to speed. And there's no better shortcut than to get training and education and discussions about these topics that you don't understand from the people who are in the right rooms and have the right knowledge. And that's a life hack for sure.
Yeah, not sure exactly the date that that episode is going to go live. We haven't even filmed it yet. I can't wait to hear your thoughts because even in the last, I'd say 1 week, so much has developed, and so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to tell the listeners. But I'm also going to ask a ton of questions. Kind of segues nicely in terms of what's been going on my end
Yeah, yeah. Tell
professionally.
us. What do you got?
Um, what you were saying, when you like overwhelm, when you find success in one area of the business, it overwhelms the other. But there are some times when all parts of your business gets overwhelmed. And that's what it's been for about 2 weeks for me. Um, on like the delivery side, um, I needed to, in short, I needed to find another consultant. The reason why I needed to find another consultant is because I had a lot of leads come through, a lot of leads convert. And so all areas of the business is calling for my attention, and all at the same time as I'm getting more and more AI proficient and AI fluent, I am figuring out that I think there is a change to what I'm selling in the very, very near future. So call that another delivery problem of like, there might be a different sales track, there might be a different product that we're selling in the next, I mean, probably in the next few weeks to a few months, which is outrageous to think about. Um, and it's also forced my hand to think about standing up agents to take care of some of the things that I know are very repeatable. So, all very exciting, all very overwhelming, all just is insanity at once. But I'm just buckling in, and I'm ready for this um, next few months and even few years of massive, just ups and downs, and just figuring things out, building the plane while flying it. I'm in for it though, because never before could a business owner and a single person founder company say that they can reasonably do everything with the help of automation and agentic workflows. So it's not inconceivable that even when things are just flooding onto your plate, it's not inconceivable to figure out a system that takes care of this, so that the next time this happens, you have a little better, a bit of a better plan to take all the incoming um, work that's required across all facets of the business. So all good problems right now for me. New clients, good pipeline. Um, I think if I needed to focus on one specific thing in the next couple of weeks, it's probably to build out a bullpen for my client delivery. So I'm looking for additional SEO consultants that are really senior level. I don't like to outsource work to cheaper talent, not even cheaper, but more entry level talent. Um, I'm building a bit of a specialized agency where it's SEO consultants that have been in the space for minimum 10 years that can be part of what we're growing and what we're selling. So, yeah, lots going on, but I'm really kind of dialing in and sniping at that one specific issue for the next couple of weeks while maintaining everything else just to make sure that nothing burns to the ground.
Yes. Yeah, that's the part that it's very easy, like for my business coach to be like, oh, yeah, one of three areas, focus all in on that. But it's like, in my mind, how I think about it is that um it's a loop, right? And when you're first starting out, it's almost like a spiral where when you're first starting out, the loops are so tiny that if you like in a day you could literally break marketing, break sales, break delivery in a day, because you're just one person. And as you get more maturity and you add some headcount to help you, then those loops get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and kind of like a clock going around. It's like each time you get to whatever your bottleneck is, the duration between that breaking and what's next, or you fixing that and what's breaking next, is longer. But like when you're first starting out, you're like almost on this little hamster wheel. It's like broke that, okay, fixed it, broke the next thing, okay, fix it. And it's just the iteration loops are so fast. So I totally can understand that. But that is a super exciting update. I'm super um just like excited about everything, because I know when we were closing out 2025, one of your big goals was really to go hard on kind of the marketing, lead gen, and grow the business and add some folks to help you out. And so that's coming to fruition, which is so powerful, so awesome. And also very, very great plug there. So if people want to reach out to you, they fit the bill of SEO, over 10 years of experience, interested in kind of a cutting edge, tip of the spear type agency that's coming out with you guys, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, and even if you're not,
Or just
a
curious, right?
veteran in this, yeah, if you're just curious to talk, I'm always open to hopping on 15-minute chats here and there. But you can find me on LinkedIn, Sam Lee. Company is called Keyrise Consulting. If you want to email me directly, sam@keyriseconsulting.com is perfectly fine too. But yeah, I'm just in the discourse right now. I'm plugging myself in, not only in a self-serving way to grow my business, but also to give back to the community. That's kind of what we're doing with this podcast. But a lot of my LinkedIn posts is really value-based content, because right now we're all trying to figure it out. Right, it's not even the business side of things. The landscape of search is changing every single day. That it's requiring new thought leadership, new testing, and this willingness, this unbridled desire to just share what people are, what I'm learning, what other people are learning, so that the SEO community can rally around the right way to service clients, not these fear mongering, money driven tactics that are being spewed on socials. Um, I think it's upon the SEOs, whether you're early or late in the stage in your career, doing it from a place of passion and empathy to try and spread the right message. So that's what I'm all about when it comes to my voice on LinkedIn, and any calls that I take with any SEOs out there. So absolutely reach out. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I think that's a great way to wrap it up with personal updates. Man, what a fun episode this was. Just going through the personal side first and then some really, really, really big, impressive business wins. And it's an exciting time. Some of our future episodes I think are going to be really exciting because we're going to, there's so much to dive into on the technical side of AI in as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur. No matter what industry you're in, it is just, I mean, it's kind of the focal point right now to figure this out. Because you have significant first mover advantage right now, and it's also going to become table stakes over the next probably 2 years. So it's time to go.
Thanks for the update, Shane. And everyone stay tuned, please, for the next few episodes. We have a lot of great material on just AI education, some SEO deep dives. So yeah, we appreciate everyone that's been following along, and we'll do our best to provide additional helpful content to you all. So thank you all.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.